We should honor Mother Teresa the Saint. 1. In her young life, her life centered around the church. 2. She helped the poorest of the poor people. And 3. Even in her dying days, she was still helping people. Her young life centered around the church, but she never thought of being a nun till the age of 18. At the age of 18, Mother Teresa followed her path to the Loreto Saint Sisters of Dublin, ministries and educators founded in the 17th century to educate young girls. In 1928, Mother Teresa began her religious life in Ireland, and 1 year later she was sent to the St. Mary's High School for Girls in Calcutta. Here she began her career in teaching history and geography, and this is where she would be for the next 15 years. It was here she heard her second calling, and in 1946 she traveled to Darwin for a retreat. During this retreat, and for the next 2 years, she followed her calling from God. She had to give up her life in Loreto, but would go out into the streets and serve God among the poorest of the poor people. She thought she would start by helping teaching the children in the slums. She didn't have the proper equipment to teach these children, so she used what she could, and she also used dirt for writing. She also taught them basic hygiene, and as the children grew to trust Mother Teresa, she would start to visit their poor, ill families. Soon, crowds of people were around Mother Teresa wanting her help. People soon wanted to help Mother Teresa help the poor, thus starting up the Ministries of Charity. This charity offered food, clothing, a use of a building, medical supplies, and money. This growing of the ministries were homes for the dying, orphanage for abandoned children, and many more. Mother Teresa helped open more than 500 centers around the world. Her ending life and her legacy she would never leave behind. Until her death in 1997, Mother Teresa continued her work among the poorest of poor people, depending on God for all her needs. There are many honors she received, including the United States Medal of Freedom, the United Nations Albert Schweitzer Prize, and the Nobel Peace Prize. She did so many works that astonished all people. In her eyes, she was God's pencil, a tiny bit of a pencil which he writes what he likes. She put in numerous hours, but yet seemed unstoppable. Though old and tired, she always returned to work, to care for people for more than 50 years. Only months before her death, when she had become too weak to manage the administrative work, she gave up the head of the ministry charity, knowing that it would go on. On September 5th, 1997, Mother Teresa had finished up her dinner and her prayers, and she died, giving her heart back to God, the center of what her life revolved around for many years. Mother Teresa helped the poorest of the poor people. Even in her younger years, she helped people that most people would walk away from. Even in her dying years, she still wanted to help people and wanted her work to continue on. This is why we should honor Mother Teresa the Saint.